Ghosted. Then a rebound? What it really means, and what to do. Have you ever been ghosted by someone you really liked, only to find out shortly after that they've already jumped into a new relationship? It's a gut punch. One minute, they're texting you, flirting, maybe even making future plans, and the next, it's total radio silence. No explanation, no goodbye, just gone. And before you can even process what happened, bam, you see them smiling in photos with someone new, as if you never existed, as if all the connection, the time, the vulnerability you shared meant absolutely nothing. You're left with a storm of questions. Was I just a placeholder? Did they meet this person while they were still seeing me? Was I just a rebound for them, or worse, are they using someone else to rebound from me? In this video, we're going deep. We'll unpack what ghosting really is and why it hurts so much. We'll look at the psychology behind rebound relationships, why some people leap into something new without skipping a beat, and what that really says about them. Most importantly, we'll talk about what you can do, how to cope, how to protect your heart, and how to come out of this not just surviving but stronger, wiser, and more self-assured than ever. Because here's the truth. When someone ghosts you and then moves on fast, it's not about your worth. It's about their emotional maturity or lack of it. And once you see it clearly, you stop blaming yourself and start taking your power back. Let's begin. So what exactly is ghosting? Ghosting is when someone you've been dating or talking to suddenly disappears. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. One day they're responding to texts, maybe even making plans, and the next, they vanish. And it hurts. A lot. Why? Because ghosting isn't just rejection, it's rejection without clarity. You're left hanging, questioning your worth, and stuck in emotional limbo. Your brain keeps looking for answers, replaying everything, checking social media, holding on to hope. That lack of closure is what makes it so painful. Now here's the important part. Ghosting says far more about them than it does about you. It reveals emotional immaturity and conflict avoidance. Instead of facing an uncomfortable conversation, they vanish. Instead of saying, "This isn't working," they take the easy way out. Some ghosters even convince themselves they're being kind, that silence spares your feelings. But the truth is, silence cuts deeper than honesty ever could. And in other cases, ghosting is simply selfishness. They disappear when they're bored, distracted, or already lining up someone new. Whatever the reason, ghosting is never a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their inability to handle relationships with maturity and respect. Let's flip the focus for a moment away from your pain and onto their behavior. Because ghosting doesn't just hurt, it reveals. And what it reveals is not flattering for the ghoster. First, ghosting often shows a deep fear of conflict. Instead of facing an uncomfortable conversation like an adult, they choose silence. It's the path of least resistance, but it's also the path of least respect. Some ghosters convince themselves they're being kind by avoiding a breakup talk. They think they're sparing your feelings. But the truth is, being ignored is often more damaging than being rejected outright. A direct, "This isn't working," might sting, but it gives you closure. Silence leaves an open wound. In other cases, ghosting reveals emotional immaturity. The inability to handle discomfort, the lack of empathy, the failure to treat someone with even basic human decency. And let's be honest, some ghosters are selfish. They leave when it suits them without a second thought, then later they might pop back up like nothing happened. These are what some people call zombie ghosters, gone 1 minute, texting "Hey stranger" the next. It's not romantic, it's not cute, it's manipulation. Sometimes ghosting is a smokescreen, a way to quietly move on to someone else without having to explain. They may have already started texting their next option before disappearing. That kind of behavior is called monkey branching, grabbing the next relationship vine before letting go of the last. Bottom line, ghosting says everything about how someone handles discomfort, responsibility, and other people's emotions, and none of it speaks well of them. So if you've been ghosted, don't see it as a reflection of your worth. See it as a clear signal. This person was never equipped to show up for you in the way you deserved. So why do some people ghost, and then immediately start dating someone new? The truth is, it usually isn't about love. It's about avoidance. For many, a rebound is a quick escape from pain. Instead of sitting with loneliness, regret, or guilt, they distract themselves with someone new. It feels easier to move on fast than to face what's really going on inside. A big driver is the fear of being alone. Especially for people with anxious attachment styles, being single feels terrifying. They'd rather rush into any relationship than confront that emptiness. Another reason is validation. Breakups bruise the ego, and getting attention from someone new is a fast way to feel desirable again, even if it's temporary. Sometimes it's about control. By rebounding quickly, they can prove to themselves, or to their ex, that they're still wanted. It's less about the new partner, and more about their own image and confidence. And for some, it's simply a pattern. They move from one relationship to the next without pause. What's sometimes called monkey branching, grabbing the next connection before letting go of the last. The key thing to remember? The speed at which someone rebounds isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their coping style. They're avoiding emotions, chasing validation, or filling a void. So when you see them with someone new right away, don't mistake it as proof you were replaceable. It's proof they weren't ready to face their own feelings. Not every rebound is guaranteed to fail. Some do turn into real relationships. But whether theirs lasts or not doesn't mean you weren't enough. It only reflects where they were emotionally, not your value. Alright, let's get to the heart of it. What does it actually mean when someone ghosts you and then immediately moves on to someone new? It's brutal. You weren't just left without closure, you were visibly replaced, and that pain cuts deep. But this isn't just random cruelty. Their behavior tells a story, and it's not about your value, it's about who they are. First, they likely already had one foot out the door. If they rebounded that quickly, there's a good chance they had been emotionally detaching long before they disappeared. Some may have even been talking to the new person before they ghosted you. That's called monkey branching. When someone doesn't let go of one connection until the next is secured, it's dishonest, it's cowardly, and it speaks volumes about their integrity, or lack of it. Second, it's not that you weren't good enough. It's tempting to think they found someone better, but the truth is, their ghosting and quick rebound show that they don't know how to handle endings. They avoid confrontation. They run from emotional discomfort, and they leap into something new not because it's better but because it's easier. Third, they probably have unresolved emotional baggage. Maybe you were the rebound for them. Maybe they never got over their last ex and thought you could fix it, and when that didn't work, they bounced again. Or maybe they're stuck in a cycle of serial dating, always chasing a new spark, never facing what's actually broken inside. Fourth, it could be driven by fear of commitment. For some people, as soon as things get serious, they panic. Ghosting becomes their escape hatch. Then, to avoid feeling alone or guilty, they latch onto someone new, someone who doesn't yet require real depth or vulnerability. And finally, in some cases, yes, it's about ego. Some people, especially those with narcissistic tendencies, ghost and rebound as a power move. They want to be seen as the one who moved on first. They want to appear unbothered, in control, desirable. It's not love, it's image management. So what does it really mean when someone ghosts and rebounds? It means they weren't emotionally available. It means they didn't respect you enough to end things properly. It means they chose the easy way out. But what it absolutely does not mean is that you were disposable. You were never just a filler. Their choice to run away and replace you says nothing about your worth and everything about their emotional limitations. If you've been ghosted and then replaced, let's be real, it's not just one heartbreak, it's two. First, you're dealing with the silence, the shock, the confusion, no closure, no explanation, just gone. Then, as you're trying to process that pain, you're hit with the second blow. They've moved on, publicly, quickly, smiling in pictures, holding hands, acting like what you had never mattered. That combination hits hard, and it messes with your head. You might feel betrayed, like everything you shared was fake, like they used you and then walked away without a second thought. You might feel angry, jealous, ashamed, humiliated, and you wouldn't be alone. Those feelings are normal. That pain is valid. You might start to compare yourself to the new person. What do they have that I don't? Was I just a placeholder until someone better came along? But pause right there. That kind of thinking is a trap. Because remember, rebounds are often about convenience, not connection. You weren't replaced because you lacked something. You were ghosted because they lacked maturity. You might still feel attached. Ghosting leaves you stuck in limbo. No goodbye, no final words. Your brain keeps searching for resolution. You might find yourself checking their social media, wondering if they'll come back, replaying every conversation for clues. That's the lingering effect of being ghosted. It's not weakness, it's biology. Your mind is trying to make sense of a sudden loss that has no clear end. And worst of all, you might start blaming yourself, questioning your judgment, doubting your worth, wondering if this happened because you said the wrong thing, or weren't attractive enough, or cared too much. Stop right there. What happened to you was not your fault. Their choice to disappear and jump into something new says everything about how they handle relationships and nothing about your value as a person. So yes, you're going to feel waves of emotion. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel hurt. Just don't confuse someone else's emotional immaturity for proof that you're not enough, because you are. You always were. Signs you were possibly a rebound. Looking back, there are often hints, you just might not have recognized them at the time. Maybe they had just ended a relationship and jumped in fast. Maybe they talked about their ex more than felt normal. Or maybe they came on strong at first, then cooled off suddenly, the classic hot and cold pattern. Other times it's about how they treated the relationship with you, avoiding commitment, keeping things vague, not really integrating you into their life. Or maybe you noticed they had a pattern of always being in a relationship, never single, always hopping from one person to the next. And of course, there's your gut. If something felt off, if you sensed distance, avoidance, or that you were more invested than they were, chances are, you were right. The point isn't to blame yourself for missing the signs. It's to recognize that being someone's rebound doesn't mean you weren't worthy. It just means they weren't ready. Okay, now that you understand what happened and why, it's time to shift focus. Not on them, on you. Because healing starts when you stop chasing answers from the person who hurt you, and start giving yourself what they couldn't. Step 1. Don't reach out. As tempting as it is to ask for closure, don't. If they ghosted you once, they've already shown their level of care and communication. Reaching out is likely to either be ignored or met with a shallow, unsatisfying excuse. You don't need that. Their silence was their message. You don't need to reopen the wound to understand it. Step 2, cut off contact. Block them if you need to. Mute them. Hide their stories, delete their number, unfollow their new relationship. This isn't petty. It's protection. Every time you see their name or face, you re-injure yourself. Give your brain space to breathe. Step 3, create emotional boundaries. That means not letting your mind spiral. You might need to set limits. I will not stalk their social media. I will not replay every conversation in my head. I will not measure my worth by their actions. You can even give yourself a rumination window, a short time to feel your feelings, then move on with your day. Step 4, feel everything, but don't spiral. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to cry, to journal, to vent, to scream into a pillow. Just don't get stuck. Ghosting and rebound pain can make you question everything. The goal isn't to pretend it didn't hurt, it's to move through it, instead of getting trapped in it. Step 5, rebuild your confidence. This one takes time, but it matters. Do things that remind you of who you are. Separate from this person. Get outside, move your body, talk to friends, reconnect with your hobbies, your passions, your goals. You are still you, whole, worthy, and complete. Step 6, remember what this really was. They ghosted because they couldn't communicate. They rebounded because they didn't want to deal with discomfort. This is about them, not you. Don't romanticize someone who couldn't even give you a goodbye. Final step, protect your peace. If they come back, and many ghosters do, you are not obligated to respond. You are not required to re-engage. You can delete the message. You can ignore the apology. You can walk away with your dignity intact. Healing is not about getting revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, your clarity, your self-worth without needing their validation. If the ghoster comes back, here's the truth. Ghosters often return, but when they do, it's usually not because they've changed. It's because they're bored, lonely, or their rebound didn't work out. So what should you do? The simplest and healthiest option, ignore them. You don't owe them a reply. If you do choose to respond, keep it short and firm. What you did was hurtful. I've moved on. Please don't contact me again. No explanations, no justifications. And if they come back with a so-called apology, ask yourself this: have they really changed, or are they just circling back for convenience? Without proof of growth, letting them in again often just leads to the same cycle. Bottom line, you don't owe your ghoster closure, forgiveness, or a second chance. Protect your peace. Being ghosted and replaced can shake your confidence, but remember this. It was never about you not being enough. It was about them, their avoidance, their immaturity, their fear of being alone. Ghosting shows someone can't communicate. Rebounding shows they can't cope. That's not your reflection, that's theirs. So stop comparing yourself to their new partner. Stop questioning your worth. Their choices reveal their limits, not your value. Instead, focus on rebuilding your foundation. Take care of your body and mind. Reconnect with passions and hobbies that remind you of who you are outside of relationships. Surround yourself with people who value and choose you consistently. And most importantly, raise your standards. Next time, if you see the red flags, inconsistency, avoidance, lack of respect, you'll know sooner and you'll walk away faster. Because you're not disposable. You're not replaceable. You are worthy of love that shows up, stays, and respects you. And being ghosted is painful. Being ghosted and then replaced, that's a 1-2 punch that can leave you questioning everything. But here's what I want you to take away. Their choice to vanish and rebound says nothing about your value and everything about their emotional maturity or lack of it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels unfair. But in the long run, someone who ghosts and runs isn't someone you could build something real with. Their quick rebound isn't proof you weren't good enough. It's proof they weren't ready to handle relationships with honesty and respect. So let them go. Let them chase distractions, validation, or whatever they think they need. That path is theirs to walk, not yours. Your job now is to protect your peace, rebuild your self-esteem, and open yourself to the kind of love that doesn't vanish when things get hard. Because you do deserve better. You deserve communication. You deserve respect. You deserve a partner who values you enough to stay present, even when things get uncomfortable. One day, when you least expect it, you'll meet someone who doesn't run, someone who chooses you consistently. And when that happens, you'll realize that being ghosted and replaced wasn't the end of your story. It was just the messy chapter that cleared the way for something real. Until then, keep moving forward. Don't let their silence define you. Don't let their rebound discourage you. This experience can make you stronger, wiser, and more protective of your heart. Remember, the way someone leaves says nothing about your worth and everything about who they are. You are not disposable, you are not replaceable, you are deserving of love that stays, and you will find it. Let me know your thoughts below, like this video if it helped, and subscribe for weekly updates.